Hello friends, my name is Robin. So today I'm going to show that how that you can create a virtual machine on Google Cloud Platform. So let's start. So you can see this is how the Google Cloud Platform console looks like. You have to click on the left hand side hamburger icon, and then you have to go to the compute engine in compute. In compute engine, you will go and click to the virtual machine instance. Before I go and create a virtual machine, I'll tell you that what are the important things to note. So if I go on to the top, you can see that projects it's written. So let's understand what project actually is. So you can see here, it's an organization. Below this, we have projects. So basically, let us assume there's an organization XYZ. Now projects could be, suppose we are having marketing department, finance department, sales department. So to segregate all these three departments, we make three projects. And under projects, we have multiple resources, be it virtual machines or storage. So under a project, a virtual machine, or well, not even a virtual machine, all the resources are created. And whatever the billing is happening, you can see for a particular project. Because when you create a project, you have to give it a billing account also. So right now I'm having only one project, and under this project, so you can consider it as a normal thing. You have a computer. Under computer, you have folder. In folder, now you are making a virtual machine. So I go and click onto the create button. Okay. So this is what looks like when you have to create a virtual machine. So I'll basically initially tell you that what all things are there, then I'll fill these instances. So the top first one is you have to give a name to the virtual machine that you do here. Then your second one, you have to add the labels. So you can see that here question marks are also given, so you can just go and click that what all things are there. Below this we have regions. So the regions, basically you can say these are geographical areas like Asia Pacific, be it Europe, Americas. So these are regions. And under regions we have zones. So like India, it's a region. Now the zone could be like Mumbai, Delhi. So these are the zones. Or under another word, if I say that in a particular place, suppose Mumbai or Pune, wherever data centers are there, so three buildings could be there, A, B, C. Now the region becomes that, and under that region, the three buildings becomes the zones. So I believe that is what it's written here. So yes, a zone is an isolated location within a region. Now this basically tells that what all machine configuration, the virtual machine that you're going to create, what are the specifications that it is going to have. So we can see here, if you click on the series, sorry. So you can see that E2, N2, these are platforms that are given. So recently, the recent processors are Intel Cascade Lake. So it is N2. So on the other way, N2D is the AMD processors. Now the thing with AMD and Intel is that Intel processor like Platinum, it goes up to 28 core. On the other hand, a single processor can go up to 64 cores. So Depends on the applications that which one fits. Uh, like that only, we have first generation means the previous version of the Cascade Lake, that is Intel Skylake. When you are sure that which processor you want to go with, the other thing is that you're going to select the resources, that which resource you want to go with. So you can see here that we are having two virtual CPUs, 8 GB memory, 16 GB memory, 8 vCPUs, 32 GB memory. So it depends that if you are having like database, if you're going to create a virtual machine for the database like SQL, so it needs a larger capacity of memory and virtual cores. Below this, so if we have two things here, whether you want to create the confidential virtual services, you can click that if you want to do, or if you want to deploy some containers onto this, means the OS that the virtual machine you will be using for the containers. So the OS that will be there on top of this virtual machine will be mostly Linux only in that case. So boot disk means where the virtual machine is going to take its files, the boot files. So we have here like multiple operating systems. So you can go and select which version you want to go with. So all those things. Now comes to the firewall rules. Like if I'm not clicking any of these two things, so by default, there will be no traffic that is flowing in and out of the virtual machine. Now this part is important. So in management, the thing that is important is the automation part, the startup script. So here what you can do is either Python file you can upload. So whenever a virtual machine is going to be switched on, like or is anything, you can say a patch is being done to the that OS or some update is there. So this startup script, what it will do, that you can give certain things that okay, whenever the machine will boot again, this things that or this service is to be initiated. So that is what you can give in startup script. In metadata, it is basically for that in data centers, obviously a virtual in Google data center, your virtual machine would be on some particular server or using some utilization of some physical server. So to get a more information from that server, this is what it is used for. Preemptable means you can use for like 24 hours. Automatic restart, like if anything patch that is happening, so okay, it is going to restart on its own. You don't have to go, like once the update is done, you don't have to go and manually restart thing. Or similarly, on host maintenance is that obviously Google is doing some updates in its data center, be it patches or security updates. So when that happens, obviously you will be told that it is going to happen. So on host maintenance means on a particular host, on a physical server, when that server's maintenance is being done, so it automatically migrates to the other instance. So that is what on host maintenance means. Now we'll quickly go and create a virtual machine. So the name of my virtual machine will be Tech Robin. And one more thing, that everything here should be in small. If I even click red, so it will show that you have to just use the small letters. So Tech Robin. Regions, I'll go with the by default only, or you can, if you go with the Asia Pacifics. So you can, if I select with Mumbai, so that this is what I was telling, that what happens that in a region, if a data center is there, it has a three buildings. Why it is done? So if in case a disaster happens in a one building, so other two will be there where data has replicated. So to maintain fault tolerance, this is being done. So I'll go with the by default only US central one. That's it. For CPU also, I'll go with the by defaults. Am I going to deploy any containers? No, because I'll be deploying Windows Server OS onto this system. So the on operating system, I will go and click Windows Server. Secondly, so this thing, like I have also sometimes make mistakes that when I was like deploying a desktop edition, means a GUI interface for my during the deployments in the server, and when everything is done and when I open it, it is command line. So be very sure when you are deploying that thing. So I'll go and select here server with desktop experience. Okay, the disk that I want to, the space that I want to give is 50 GB, sufficient for demo purpose. Or if you want to add on the disk, you can just go and click here. And one more thing, that when if you want to like delete your instance, even boot disk, when you delete this virtual machine, so you have to click here. If you don't delete, the boot disk will be there, and you can create one more virtual machine using that boot disk. So the encryption, okay, you want Google to manage that thing, or if you want to give your own keys, you can do that. So device name based on the name that I gave. Take Robin. Like I said, initially we gave 50 GB, but if you want to add on new disk, so you can go and click here which disk you want to go with. If you want to go with the, means if you want high performance, then go with the SSDs, or normal standard persistent disk will be fine. This is for the snapshots that you can create a snapshot schedule. That snapshot means your virtual machine at a particular instance, its snapshot will be taken like the name suggests, and it can be used for your backup purposes if something failure happens to this virtual machine. The important thing is networking. Right now, this tags, if you see in networking, it is basically for when you create the firewall rules. So when you create firewall rules, at that point of time, if you have in this project in a particular network, if you have 10 virtual machines and you create one more network in those network, you also have like 5-6 machines. So when you create firewall rules, so you can that time mention the tags which you have mentioned here, so that firewall rule will be made for all these 10 machines. Similarly for so this is what is actually network tags for. So when you create firewall rules, at that time, the rules will be made for these machines, means applicable to these machines. You are tagging these. So by default, the network is this. If you want to edit it, you can obviously do that. Network is default. If you want to create your IPs, that you can do that. If you want to have static IP, static internal IP, because ephemeral means once you switch down your virtual machine or switch off your virtual machine, next time when you get the IP, it will not be the same which you have previously got. So IP forwarding rules you can enable here. Right now I'm not doing. And if you want to create a one more network for this virtual machine, you can create here. Okay, so you need to have first new net. So this is what it looks like. So now I'll go and quickly click on the create button. So you can find here that if you click here, on the top you can see that it is showing a virtual machine is being created. Now one more important thing, like which I will be talking in my coming videos, that how you manage the access. You don't want to give your access to each and every member, so you can manage your access from here. You like I created this virtual machine. Now I want my friend to access this virtual machine, so I'll add my new member, means its email ID I'll be putting here, and I'll be selecting a role, that which role I want to give to him. I hope you understood what I'm trying to say here. So you can manage from here. Now this virtual machine is created. Now I need to get the RDP. So I'll download the RDP file from here. So when it's downloaded, you can see the IP here 104.198.164.133 is the same external IP here. Now you need to connect it. I'll show that how it looks. You have to just connect it and find the password. You just, when you click on the connect button, you have to just give the password. And password you can directly get from here. So it's simple, means you have to just get the password and paste it there. And once everything is done, you can see the virtual machine will be created like this. So you can see there the IP connection that we are having. So this is what is my virtual machine looks like. And see, or you can access the Google Cloud Shell from this. And it is a Windows Server edition. So you have multiple tools and roles here. You can see here. So I hope by now you have understood that how a virtual machine is created. And if you have any queries, just put into the comment section. I'll enable it and I'll try to answer it. So that's all from my side. I hope you have liked the video and it would be useful for you for your knowledge purpose. So that is all from my side. And one more thing is that since my channel is new, so it will be a great motivation if I get some subscribers and likes. Thank you very much.